What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. We are in the last and final installment of the protein cereal series, and we've covered a few good ones, might I add. But today we're covering some of your guys' absolute favorite protein cereals that you guys had highly suggested. So I've gone ahead and checked out Walmart and Amazon, picked up some of these bad boys, and yeah, we're ready to dive into it. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, I've gone ahead and covered a couple other protein cereals. Magic Spoon, Premier Protein Cereal, and also most recent, RX Bar Protein Cereal. So go ahead and check out the link up here if you'd like to check those out. But otherwise, we can get super technical today and get into the nitty gritty of things. But we got like 6 or 7 boxes of cereal to go into, and I am super hungry. So let's get into it. All right, let's do this. So right off the bat, I don't really have a game plan in terms of the order that we're gonna go. However, there's been one that I've been really dying to try, and that's Catalina Crunch. So this bad boy right here, 110 calories per serving, $9 a pop, or I guess $10 a pop over at Costco. Super easy and accessible if you have a Costco membership. And I gotta say, I've always been super intrigued. I've always gone with the Premier Protein Cereal, which I absolutely love, but I've always seen this sitting right next to it, just kind of sitting there, just waiting to get picked up. Jason, pick me up. I don't know, it's spoken to me quite a number of times. This bag specifically, I actually picked it up back in California. Now, with 110 calories per serving, you're gonna get 5 grams of fat, 11 grams of protein, and 14 grams of carbs. And not to mention 9 grams of fiber. 9 grams of fiber. I mean, to me, that's like unheard of, right? Like a lot of traditional cereals are not gonna be that packed with fiber. And if they are, they're gonna be super dry, super bland, very uneventful, unexciting to the palate. And we'll see if Catalina Crunch delivers. So I think it's time to dive in. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, 36 grams of cereal doesn't give you a whole lot. How does anyone survive off of 1 bowl of cereal? All right, sniff test. Yep, does the job. Grain-free, gluten-free, no sugar, no artificial flavors, and yeah, straight up plant-based, pea protein. Throw some milk in there. So one of the things that I really want to point out with Catalina Crunch is you've got 20 ounces of cereal, and you compare that to something that's on the upper echelon of our protein cereals in terms of branding and then also price. Magic Spoon gives you about 7 ounces of cereal per box, and it's pretty high and I think pretty steep for a lot of folks. But then you take a look at Premier Protein Cereal, which is, you know, about 14 bucks a box. You get 2 bags. It's pretty decent, and I'd say it's on kind of more the balanced spectrum when we take a look at the Premier Protein and Catalina Crunch cereals versus our Magic Spoons. But otherwise, we've got our milk, we've got our cereal. Let's dive in. All right, whoa, heavy doses of not cinnamon. Heavy doses of pea protein, that's like all I get, and that's what I was getting through the smell test as well. So you get a hint of cinnamon toast, which is fine. It kind of, you know, helps to balance out a little bit of the pea protein flavor, but overall texture, I gotta say, is pretty solid. It totally reminds me of like honey graham crackers, and you know, if you're thinking about this being an actual cinnamon toast crunch cereal, far from it. And I think if you're not the biggest fan of pea protein or the flavor of it or just the smell of it, this probably won't do well with you. Next up, 3 Wishes. So 3 Wishes. Now, I've been wanting to try the cereal for quite some time, to be honest, and I picked it up off of Amazon for $9.99, some change with Prime, and then also pick it off the website. I think it's like 40 bucks for like a 6-pack, and that runs you, I don't know, about $6-7 a piece. But outside of that, 3 Wishes, what it really actually stands for, the story behind it is family of 3 really want us to get a better or healthier version of cereals. And so for them, really high in protein, low in sugar, and healthier ingredients, pretty much just like every other brand. But with that being said now, you get this cool little thing on the back and you write down your 3 wishes for the day. Pretty epic. So in terms of flavors, 3 Wishes has about 6 or 7 different types of flavors. We've got cinnamon here today. They've also got chocolate, honey, unsweetened, frosted, and fruity. I think I'm missing one in there. But otherwise, picked them up online. I wasn't able to actually find this in store. And in terms of overall calories, not far off from the Catalina Crunch. So we were working with 1 serving, 35 grams. You get 120 calories, 2 grams of fat, 18 grams of carbs, and 8 grams of protein. So not too shabby if you ask me. Now I'm curious to see how this actually tastes because pea protein tends to be quite strong when it comes to baked goods, or like we saw in the Catalina Crunch, very strong in cereal. Oh, all right. So looks like we definitely have a little bit more volume in comparison to the Catalina Crunch, which is a little bit more of a denser type of cereal. But 3 wishes, and just kind of going off of this whole branding scheme, if you guys had 3 criteria points in making your perfect protein cereal, what would you guys focus on? Smell-wise, ooh, very promising. Yeah, that's almost like a true cinnamon toast. That's, oh wow. Yo, that is pretty solid. Okay, that's not, that we didn't even pour any milk. That definitely smells great. You know when you get that feeling when you know the cereal is epic and then you pour the milk in and you know that the milk is gonna be even way more epic? Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Cheers. I'm just gonna finish this entire bowl. Okay, so right off the bat, 10 bucks off of Amazon, 1 box, about 8.6 ounces of cereal, not too far off from Magic Spoon. I ain't even mad. That's basically how much I paid for Magic Spoon. This hands down wins me over on the protein cereal. Now, again, calories, 120 calories. Protein, you're looking at 8 grams of protein. That's the highest, it's not the highest protein cereal, but overall texture, consistency, flavor, oh, this is a pretty solid tasting cereal, especially compared to Catalina Crunch where the cinnamon was very, very subtle and almost non-existent. This right here comes in clutch, and then also the milk, delicious. Now, with that being said, overall texture and the consistency, I think that's what really won me over. You're gonna have to try this out. Oh, Wonderworks, you're up. Here's where I guess the real test begins. Wonderworks made a whey protein isolate. You could pick it up for, I don't know, $7 a box. They got 3 different flavors. We are missing 1. We've got cinnamon, chocolate, and then I think the next one we are missing is peanut butter. But we got these 2. Let's dive in. All right, so we've got 40 grams here, and in terms of volume, this is very equivalent to, I'd say, pretty much what we were just seeing with 3 wishes. This straight up smells like Cocoa Puffs. We got a milk poured, we got our cereal. Let's dive in. Come on! All right, for sweeteners, we've got erythritol, allulose, and then also stevia extract. So straight up, this chocolate Wonderworks is delicious. It really tastes almost very close to Cocoa Puffs. Very surprising. Overall texture, the consistency, straight up blows me out of the water. Like, I don't know how the other cereals just felt so sticky to the teeth. Yeah, don't sleep on this. Wonderworks chocolate, straight up tastes like Cocoa Puffs. Absolutely great overall texture. It's just like any other cereal, just legit Cocoa Puffs. And the chocolate, if you're a fan of dark chocolate, you're probably really gonna like this. For me, it actually wasn't that big of an issue compared to some of the other cereals that we've tried that were the dark chocolates. In terms of overall texture and the consistency, hands down blows Magic Spoon out of the water. The outer shell of the cereal has a little bit of a dry texture, which I imagine is just the coating of the cocoa, but otherwise, delicious. Oh, you guys know I love cinnamon. This smells like sweet glory. All right, we've got the milk poured. Let's dig in. What did you do to cinnamon? This is definitely a no-go. I'm gonna go ahead and rate this as a solid 5 out of 10. I don't know what it is about the flavor, but it starts off strong, and then deeper that you get into the flavor, I have no idea what happens to the flavor. It just morphs into something absolutely, it's almost tasting like a foul cinnamon, if there is such a thing. Definitely a no-go for me. 5 out of 10. Let's go. Snack House, I originally thought that this was schoolyard snacks, but completely different. So $14.99 off of Amazon, $14.99 per bag of cereal, $14.99. What in the holy bowl of cereal? This is 6.6 ounces. There are apparently 7 servings per package, and 1 serving is 27 grams. Now that's gonna get you 115 total calories with 5 grams of fat, 8 grams of carbs, and 15 grams of protein. They're using milk protein isolate, so very similar to what we saw with the Wonderworks sweeteners, allulose, and then also some stevia and monk fruit extracts. But otherwise, I'm super excited about this. I love a ton of color in my cereal, and this one we've got Fruity Pebbles. Please don't disappoint. That definitely does not smell fruity. You know what, this smells like an unflavored whey protein. Let's try this out. We've got the milk poured and a cereal. Let's go. Cheers. right off the bat, in terms of overall flavor, definitely a no-go. Okay, so right off the bat, in terms of overall flavor, you get hit with a hint of fruit. I wouldn't say necessarily fruity pebbles, some sort of fruit. You get some sort of essence. And then the further that you get into it, it just kind of tastes like chemicals. And then the texture and the consistency, crunch is definitely there, but it almost feels like I'm biting into something that's kind of like plastic. I'm gonna go ahead and give this another try. We're gonna go ahead, right? Maybe second time's a charm. Cheers. And do it. I feel like the flavors need to be worked on quite a bit. I feel like there are other ingredients that need to be included, or the flavors need to be complemented way better into the recipe. You definitely get on the tail end just a little bit more of a chemical taste. So definitely 3 out of 10. Let's move on. We got Kashi Go. I have been looking forward to this one. $5 over at Walmart, and this was the only one left when I was there at the time. If you guys are familiar with Kashi in general, they got a bunch of different lines within their Kashi branded cereal, and this is the first time that I've seen this. 12 grams of protein, we've got 150 calories, 6 grams of fat, along with 19 grams of carbs. Pretty solid profile if you ask me. And in terms of protein, lentil protein along with some pea protein and chickpea flour. And then to sweeten it up, we've got monk fruit extract along with a little bit of allulose. Let's dig into it. And like the others, they are grain-free, gluten-free, and also very cautious of how much sugars or sweeteners there are. And mind you, also 6 grams of fiber. So, milk poured, cereals here, let's go. Yep, go get some. Solid 8 out of 10. Now, honestly, I was a little skeptical after I had the first cereal piece dry without any milk. You can kind of get a little bit of a hint of the protein flavor and the texture in it, but with the milk, hands down, solid. So here's the deal, guys. In terms of overall flavor, it is definitely very light, especially for a dark cocoa. Comparing that to the Wonderworks dark chocolate. And then also in terms of overall texture and the consistency, very much way lighter in comparison to the Wonderworks puffball. And honestly, I'm not that too concerned or bugged by it, and I actually kind of like it. I don't let my cereal usually sit for a very long time, so it doesn't really bug me too much. The crunch is still there. Texture is very even across the board. You don't have the cereal sticking up all in your teeth. And honestly, it's a pretty solid cereal. So solid 8 out of 10, go and check it out. Oh, and we're saving the big kahuna for last. So Clif Cereal. We've got blueberry and almond butter, definitely a heavy hitter when it comes to total calories. We've got 240 calories with 8 grams of fat, 39 grams of carbs, and a whopping 8 grams of protein. Yeah, you heard that, 8 grams of protein. So this is definitely a heavy hitter, but I wouldn't expect anything less from Clif Bar, especially with the fact that Clif Bar, they don't really focus on like having super lean products, and most often than not, they just really try and incorporate just wholesome, whole food ingredients. And then also they've got these little tiny clusters here. I get super excited about clusters in my cereals, so let's go. But in here, we've got some granola clusters along with some grain flakes, then also dried blueberries, and if you didn't know any better, you probably think that they were little dried turds. And then we also have some whole almonds. We've got the milk poured, the cereal, cheers. So for 240 calories, yeah, I would imagine that this bad boy right here would taste epic. Yep, this definitely hits the spot for me. I love the combination of the blueberries and the almond butter, but outside of that, in terms of overall calories, definitely a little higher than the others. And I'm gonna go ahead and rate this as a solid 7.5. For me, it really hits the spot. Again, it is a little higher in total calories, but at the end of the day, flavor-wise, yo, what? I literally had this cereal piece on my shoulder the entire time. Now, overall, guys, we've got Wonderworks and also 3 Wishes at the top. So right off the bat, Wonderworks chocolate, hands down, solid recommendation. 3 Wishes cinnamon, strong recommendation. Highly recommend you guys try those out. Now, for those of you who are advocates for 3 Wishes and Wonderworks, I would love to hear you guys in terms of overall flavors for the others that we haven't tried today, if you guys had any other favorites. Now, in terms of Wonderworks cinnamon, definitely a no-go for me. If you guys are advocates, I'd love to hear you guys' comments on that. And then Snack House, not the biggest fan. You know, the flavors just really didn't quite hit it for me. Wasn't too particular on that. And then also Kashi Go. Now Kashi Go for me, honestly, I think was one of the best in just terms of overall price, the texture, the consistency. Flavor might not have been as strong as the others, but overall kind of complete package, $4.50 for a box. I don't think you can go wrong with that. Then next up, we've got the Catalina Crunch. And for those of you who are very cautious or not the biggest fans of pea or plant-based proteins, just know that you're gonna get a hefty dose of that from the aroma and then also just the taste and the texture of it. So that definitely still a strong, suitable option in terms of protein cereals, especially because it's available at Costco. And then we've got Snack House sitting on the bottom, 3 out of 10. I could not, for the life of me, get myself to eat any more of that. And I would absolutely love to hear you guys' thoughts on whether or not you love the Snack House option if you have tried it, but 15 bucks for that bag, I'm sorry, I definitely can't do it. And so that's gonna wrap up the last episode of the Protein Cereal series. And now if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to flex on that subscribe button, give this video a big fat thumbs up. Shock, bruh. Big fat thumbs up, and give me a follow on the good old Instagram if you would like to stay up with the latest and greatest on anabolic recipes, life, powerlifting, and all that good jazz. But otherwise, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and share, like, comment down below. Absolutely love you guys. Stay safe, stay swole, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.